Well, hello, I'm Joanna Clark with Blissful Baby, and this is another sleep success story. So, thank you both for being here to share everything. So, why don't you guys start us off? How old was your baby boy when you reached out to me?
He was 9.5 months old, close to 10 months.
Okay. And what was sleep looking like before you called me?
Sleep was really rough. We would essentially wake up every 45 minutes to an hour. We would put him to bed in his crib, but he would eventually co-sleep with us. And it was broken sleep, waking up every 45 minutes to an hour, like I said, and giving him a lot of milk in the night, using that as a sleep crutch. I think at an average, I would get maybe 4 hours of sleep, and that was also not quality sleep. I think same goes for my husband. Um, and I think, we could see that it was also affecting the baby quite a bit, just not getting good quality sleep. So it was really rough, very exhausting, very stressful, frustrating, you know, um, time, definitely.
And what about you, Dad? Were you the one up at night too? Like, were both of you guys up in the middle of the night with all the feeding and the co-sleeping?
So we were, in the same bed, and Chavi would wake up at night, but essentially everybody would wake up because there
Yeah.
would be crying involved, and lights would get open sometimes.
Mhm.
The water bottles would fall down, pick them up. It just like was pretty chaotic. And yeah, I think super low on sleep. Even when I would not be doing anything to help out with kind of
Mhm.
him feeding at night, I would just like, be super tired all throughout the day, 24/7.
Exactly. So what made you guys then decide to reach out for help? Like what was the breaking point or at what point did you say we need help with this?
I think there were a lot of things that, kind of evolved to this decision, but obviously our relationship was suffering. I was extremely tired and frustrated as a mother during the day. But I think the biggest, most important reason was that I was starting a new job and that
Mhm.
required me to be well rested, not have my daily brain fog, and just be like, super focused at work. And I think the same applies to him as well. He's been going really hard at work for the last year and a half. So it was really starting to show in our health as well and just in our, day-to-day interactions with each other. And we knew this was not healthy. So definitely needed an attention right away.
And so and how did you reach out for help? Can you remind me like how you heard about me or
Yeah. Yeah, so I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's someone I've gone to for pretty much all mom advice, and she's given me great ones. So she, in fact, told me about you. She told me about you 2 years ago before I was even pregnant, and she mentioned how, your sleep training had changed the game for them. So I always knew that in the back of my mind, but she brought it up again, when we mentioned what we were going through, because I think the 6 month or 8 month sleep regression really hit us hard.
Yes.
And she brought up your name again. And, she said, there's one person I would blindly put my faith in, it's Joanna.
Oh,
And
that's so
she
nice.
will make sure that your baby is sleeping by the end of it. So even if you don't have trust in yourself, just have faith in her and she'll get the job done.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. And Dad, what was that like for you? Like having her come home and be like, okay, so we're gonna hire a baby sleep coach. Were you like, what is that? Like what, like how, from the perspective of a dad, she's been getting
That's a
like
great.
really great advice from a friend and a mentor, and then she's like, okay, hey, what did you think? Was that really weird for you?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what?
So, so to be honest, it wasn't because I was really suffering. I was like, as I said, right? Like we just had very bad sleep
Mhm.
for 10 years 10 months at that point, right? So
Felt
it
like
was
10
pretty hard.
years.
It felt like
Not
10
10
years.
years.
Yeah.
It felt like 10 years, age 10 years in 10 months. And then and Chavi was like, I can't sleep train, you sleep train, right? So
Mhm.
I tried to get a book and I read it and we tried one day and it was like just a big failure. So I was ready for anything, right? And this person that Chavi mentions, my wife mentions, just has good advice. So you can also take her word for stuff when she says it. So we're like, yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. I think anything, we'll try it. So I was not like, hey, what's happening? I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah. But I think it's important to say that you saw you were having problems. You tried on your own. You're like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
not working, which then opened the doorway to say, I'm ready to get some support with this and not try to go on my own. Okay. Awesome.
Exactly.
So what was it like then getting the support? Like, how was that for you?
It was life changing. First off, I think you were so validating about, our sleep struggles and, just our situation in general. So it felt like we could really confide in you and, talk you through what we were going through. And
Yeah.
it seemed like obviously because you had such great experience, you were able to, you know, give us a plan that actually worked for us. So I think our confidence just increased with that day over day. And I think, your whole science-backed gentle sleep training technique really resonated with us. I think when we tried to sleep train on our own, there were a lot of missing gaps in, what we were trying to do, because there wasn't any logical backing around the
Yeah.
techniques. And with you, you gave us such a deep dive into everything that you would help us and coach us through that it just made sense logically. And I think, those hour, 2 hour long sessions that we had with you, I think that was like amazing for us because again, my husband, he's super logical and he always relies on information that has good logical, backing. And I think that's exactly what you gave us. So every time we came out of a session with you, we never had doubts about what we were going to do. We knew exactly what we had to do. We had the steps laid out very clearly. And the
Mhm.
fact that you were always available, texting us and giving us voice notes on what to do, how to navigate a certain situation, it just felt like, literally being held, you're having your hand being held through the entire journey. And I think that was incredible. That support was really, really helpful.
Excellent. And dad was, I should say, you guys, dad was the coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
So really making sure, like, like he's a busy, both of them are, busy working professionals. So we had to make it clear. The directions had to be clear. And the reasons why we're doing it had to be clear. It had to have a reason, like why, okay, I know you're telling me to do this, but tell me the science behind it. Tell me the behavioral science behind it, the sleep science, because I want to make sure what I'm doing for my child is really grounded in science and data. And dad, drove the whole process. So dad, what was it like for you to have that one-on-one support while you were saying, I'll take one for the team and do this whole process?
And I think it was amazing. Everything was just exceptional. And I think I feel like the eye-opening part was day one when we had a chat and you said, Aman, this is exactly how it's going to go down. And I was like, sure, I'll listen to her. I don't think she can like really predict the future, and each baby is different. But I'll just kind of listen and humor. But then that evening or night, it's exactly what happened, and I just felt like so well. I had all the tools because she had told me like, if this happens, then do this. If this happens, then do that. So after that, I'm like, hey, let's just listen to Joanna, do what she says, and it will be all right. And that's exactly how it happened. And then yeah, I think like the backing part was something special because a lot of people just tell you what exactly to do, and they just like expect you to like just like have blind faith in them. But with like Joanna, there's a lot of explanation and a lot of backing. So she kind of made me feel I had my own tools. So when I was like, even if something would go wrong or like some new edge case would show up, I had the backing and the understanding to make the right decision. So it's kind of like, teach a man to fish, not give them the fish. It was exactly that.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Like empowering you to understand like the nuances enough that when a curveball comes, you're like, oh, that's what that is. Now I know what to do,
Exactly.
which feels so great, especially at 2 a.m. Okay. And so what does sleep look like now?
Yeah, our baby sleeps through the night. And even though, there are nights where he wakes up, he knows how to go back to sleep. I think that just blows our mind every time that happens, that he is capable of, self-regulating, self-soothing himself and putting himself back to sleep. So yeah, he sleeps pretty much, 11 and a half hours every night. And we're at a point now where we can do our own individual activities once he goes down to bed, which didn't seem possible a year ago or
Yeah.
even a few months ago.
Yes.
Um, I think overall we're just a much more happier and a more thriving family now that sleep is covered for him.
Amazing. Yeah. So he's sleeping, just so you guys want the real stats. He goes to bed at 7:45 p.m. He wakes up at 7 a.m.
Yep,
He takes a nap from 11:30 to 1:30, hands free. This is all hands free, like night, night, baby.
yep.
They walk out the door. The parents get time for themselves in the evening, to take care of, to enjoy each other or to enjoy their own personal pursuits, and have a reliable schedule, on the weekdays and weekends, which is amazing to have reliability. Like, this is our life, this is our schedule, this is what we can work around. So, one of my favorite questions to ask is, what is possible now in your life that your child is sleeping? What is possible now that literally was impossible to desire or consider doing before your child was sleeping?
And the fact that his dad can put him to sleep and there's no more, strong reliance on me. The fact that I was able to take a 4-day trip by myself when, dad was taking care of him. I don't think this was something we even dreamed of. And as a matter of fact, anyone can now put him to sleep. It's not just him or me. We've had our nanny as well that's helped him, go to bed at night and he sleeps well. He knows exactly what needs to happen. He's very familiar with his bedtime routine, and I think it doesn't matter who does it now, as long as the steps are followed, he's ready to go to bed.
Amazing. What about you, Dad? What's possible for you now that wasn't possible before?
Many things. I think the biggest one has been actually going to the gym, because I used to go to the gym, and last year I just couldn't because yeah, after lack of sleep, you can't do much. Like you're like not eating so well, and you don't feel like going to the gym. So actually, when I wake up now at 7, I'm like fresh, and I want to kind of go and work out. That's been a big one. We've done more date nights together because we're just so confident that at this point he'll go to sleep, and any nanny or any kind of helper can come in and like watch over him while we're kind of out. So that's been a big thing for us. And then just kind of time to ourselves, like quiet household
Yeah.
at in the evening. I think so those things have been huge. So watch TV, Netflix for some time. Those three things have been huge.
I know, simple pleasures, but they are so meaningful. And what
Yeah.
Dad said earlier, what I loved, he's like, "This is Parenthood 2.0. This is way better. This is way better." Okay, last quick question. If you met a family who was sleep deprived and overwhelmed, and they were either afraid to do sleep training, or they were like, "I don't know if it's going to work or it's not worth it," like, what would you want them to know?
I think the number one thing would be that there's alternates to cry it out and Ferber. Gentle sleep training is what we did. The fact that you were able to walk us through these different tools and, you know, um, I guess the different like phases of sleep training, which is self-regulating, soothing, and those types of, I guess, indications. Once you're more acquainted with the whole gentle sleep training methodology, it is possible for your baby to sleep through the night, and you don't always have to, have them cry out. I think that's the biggest stigma out there, right? That people
Yeah.
are scared of. So I think, in our case, Joanna, you really walked us through that whole gentle sleep training technique to the T, and um, as an anxious mom who just couldn't bear to hear her baby cry in the night, I think this was just such a relief. And yeah, that's, I guess, my number one reason why I would recommend you and your training.
Yes, I love it. So that's a big thing. I love what you said, that it's a stigma. Yes, there is an alternative to cry it out. Well, both of you, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's such a meaningful. I loved working with you guys, and uh, thank you for spreading the good news, about that sleep is bliss. So,
Thanks,
thank
Joanna.
you.
Thank you. Bye.